Here's one of our hand drills. I want to go over some of the different parts. First we have the speed switch right here. Switch to 2 or 1 if you want a slower speed for putting in screws. This is the clutch. So this sets the torque that you're going to apply. Right here is the drill bit setting for if we're going to drill holes. So the other numbers are for when you're putting in screws. Then we have our switch, whether we're going to go forwards or backwards. And then here's how you remove the battery, by pushing this button and sliding it forward, and then the opposite, just push it on until it clicks. Okay guys, I'm going to go over the hand drill real quick. First talk about a couple of the parts. We have a chuck, just like we have on the drill press. We have a switch to change the speed, speed 1 and speed 2. And up here we have our clutch that we can, right now it's set to a drill bit setting, or we can rotate this for a setting for when we're putting in screws. If we want to set how tight that screw goes so we don't break the screw or strip out the hole. Okay? And then here we also have a switch for forwards and reverse. There's our variable speed trigger, which means that we can pull it just a little bit and it'll go slow. And then the more we pull that trigger, the faster it will go. Down at the bottom we have our battery. So there's a yellow button right here. We're going to squeeze that button, slide it out towards the front of the drill. And same thing, to put it on, just push it on until it clicks. First thing I'm going to show you is how to put a bit in. Right here I have a Phillips head screwdriver bit. This is what we're going to be using most commonly. So right now the jaws of the chuck are too small for my bit to fit in. So I need to open those up. I can do it a couple of ways. The easiest way for me is I click this reverse button, arrow pointing back towards the back of the drill. You hold on to the chuck while you pull the trigger slowly. Okay, and now those jaws have opened up. It allows me to fit my bit in there, whether it's a drill bit or a screwdriver bit. And then I'm going to hold that centered in there with these two fingers while grabbing the chuck with my ring finger and my pinky finger and my palm. So I can kind of hold it in there. And I've pushed the button to go in forward now, slowly pulling the trigger and letting that chuck slide in my hand. I don't want to grab that real tight. Now by hand, I'm going to turn the chuck, I'm going to turn that in my hand until the clicking has stopped. Once the clicking has stopped, that means that my bit is now tight in the chuck and I'm ready to start putting my screws in or taking my screws out. I want to make sure if I'm using this screwdriver bit rather than a drill bit, this means I'm putting screws in or taking screws out. I want to make sure my settings are correct. So for screws, I'm going to set this on the 1 speed setting. And I'm going to set this based on what my material is that I'm screwing into. You typically don't want to go above 10, but the harder the wood, oak or maple, the more you might want to increase that closer to that 10 range. Using a softwood like poplar or pine, you would make this closer to the 4 and 5 range. And you can always adjust it higher, but you can't go back down once you put that screw in. It's already at that depth and at that tightness setting. So now, if I'm going to start drilling holes, I'm going to take this bit out and put a drill bit in. So you're going to click this in reverse, hold on to the chuck real tight, and slowly pull the trigger. Now if you have this clutch set very low, when you go to pull this trigger, you're going to get that shaking, clicking noise. That is because you have it set so that it doesn't tighten the screws very tight. So I'm going to change this back to the drill bit setting. So now it will not click like that. It will spin. And it loosens it for you. Okay, now I'm going to go get a drill bit. Okay, this is a 3/8 brad point bit. I'm going to put that into the drill. So I still need to open up my jaws with my chuck. So I'm going to, in reverse, holding my chuck, pull the trigger. Now that it fits in there, holding the drill bit with these fingers, chuck with my palm, and pinky and ring finger going forward. When it catches, you let go, turn until it stops clicking, and now you're ready to go. With a drill bit, I want to make sure I'm on the drill bit setting on the clutch, and I'm on the number 2 speed setting on the top of the drill here. Okay, now I'm ready to drill. When you're done, just reverse the process, click it back in reverse, hold on to the chuck, and you're ready to go. Always put your drill back in the toolbox without the bit in there, and put whatever bit you were using back in its place as well.